Hi, I'm Megan, and this is chapter 2 of my book. If you saw chapter 1, then you'll pretty much understand what's going on. If not, I recommend you pause this and go back to chapter 1 to watch it. So, this is chapter 2. After Aumas' father died, she went into the Imperial Flight Academy. It was there she learned to fly. The first thing I was aware of was the pounding ache in my skull. The second was concerned voices. I groaned, and they stopped. "She's coming round," said a voice that I recognized as Nils. I was glad that he made it out alive. A voice shushed him. My eyes fluttered open, and I tried to sit up. The pain on my head made me cringe and slump back onto the hospital bed. Slowly, the blurred faces came into focus. I blinked with surprise. There was Nil, as was expected, but standing with him was Senator Organa and Solo. My brow furrowed. What were they doing here? Solo was the first to break the silence. He grinned easily, saying, "Fainting on duty, Aumas? That's a big no-no." He wagged his finger for emphasis. I glared at him. "I don't recall when you started to be on first-name basis. Please, refresh my memory." Senator Organa chuckled and laid her hand on my arm. "You're possibly the only person ever to get the better of Han when it comes to sarcasm," she choked out between giggles. "It's a gift," I replied, sending her into uncontrollable peals of laughter. Solo and I looked at each other, eyebrows raised. Clearly, she was under a lot of stress. Over the next few days, I had a cascade of visitors. Some of them, like Senator Organa, came from great affluence. Others, like Solo, were riddled with arrears. Most of them were just crotchety old fighter pilots, coming to congratulate me on my upcoming award. Finally, the day came when the medical droid allowed me to retrieve my dress uniform from my quarters. I dressed for the ceremony, and then I waited. And waited. And waited. Just as I was convinced it was all a big joke, the rebellion's newest hero, Luke Skywalker, peeked in. "Are you decent?" he asked. I just had to laugh at his naivety. "I've been decent for an hour," I smirked. He crept in and stood shifting his weight nervously. He said, "Well, they're ready for you now." I smiled, put my hand on his shoulders to ease his insecurity, and proceeded to walk through the door. As the last note of the fanfare ended, I strode down the corridor of fellow war companions, not even glancing at them. I arrived at the front of Senator Organa and knelt. "Aumas the Bane Skirtel, you have been called here to commemorate your heroic actions at the Battle of Dantooine and your war wound. Do you have anything to say?" I gave a self-depreciating smile and said, "It was just a concussion, Senator." A low chuckle ran through the crowd. Senator Organa allowed a brief smile to flit across her face. "Nevertheless, your actions have allowed vital information to be kept out of the Empire's hands, and so it is with great pride and joy that I present to you this Medal of Valor." With that, she held aloft the medal and draped it over my neck. Mon Mothma strode into the room where Senator Organa and I sat. Hastily I stood, groaning quietly at the rush of nausea from my concussion. "Please sit. Don't strain yourself," she said. "Now, what's this vital intelligence I'm hearing about?" "Ma'am, I'll get right to the point. The Empire is building the second Death Star." At this, there was a sharp intake of breath from them both. I could see the pain and fear in Senator Organa's eyes. "This is news indeed," said Mon Mothma. "Like the first Death Star, they have Wookiees and manacles to build it." I hated to bring such sinister tidings, but in the onset of this new martial weapon, I didn't have much choice. Senator Organa seemed to have been rendered immobile by the news. She was taut with apprehension. "Thank you for bringing this information," said Mon Mothma. "You're dismissed." "I'm not done," I said. Taking a deep breath, I withdrew a rolled piece of paper and unrolled it onto the table. They both gasped. For, lying there, was a format of a rumored weapons stash on Kashyyyk that belonged to the Empire. We had been searching for it for months, and now I knew where it is. "We must send a stealth force to retrieve these weapons immediately," cried Senator Organa. "I volunteer to lead it," said a new voice. Solo stepped in from where he had been eavesdropping. "I'm the best pilot you guys have." "I wouldn't say that," both Senator Organa and I muttered at the same time. Solo glared at us before turning his attention to Mon Mothma. "Well?" She looked uncomfortable. "Well, I had been planning to send Alma on this mission." "Why don't we co-lead it?" I put in. She looked relieved. "It's an excellent idea. We leave in the morning. Oh, and Aumas, try to be sneaky." So and I walked out the door, heading to our rooms to pack. "You just had to say it, didn't you?" he asked. "Say what?" I asked instantly. He ignored me. "I don't do well with other people. Well then, I guess it's a good thing that you have a Wookiee for a companion then, I shot back. Whatever. Are you going to fly with me, or are you going to fly your own ship? I glanced at him suspiciously. He was looking straight ahead, disinterested. My own unless I'm told otherwise. Up ahead we heard a distant roar. Solo looked troubled. That's Chewie, he said worriedly. What has he gotten into now? We rushed towards where the sound had come from, which turned out to be the mess hall. Apparently some Rhodian had taken the last nerf stick. Chewbacca was on the table, roaring furiously. Upon seeing Solo, he leaped nimbly down to the floor. I left the cafeteria while Solo consoled his Wookiee. When I finally finished packing, I turned in. I had a long journey ahead of me. So that's chapter 2. I hope you enjoyed it. I've done my best to correct the mistakes that I have made in the first chapter. Unfortunately, I was not able to to make the sound and resolution quality better, but I hope you like this one better.